Hey y'all, Dr. Endora Crawford here. It's been 1 month, 496 items, and a whole lot of emotion. That was my January, my deep dive into decluttering 496 items in 31 days. And after 3 trips to the dumpster, 3 trips to the Goodwill, and two big personal giveaways, I can now share with you my entire process of decluttering those items, what that process was like, some of the challenges I encountered, and of course, the successes at the end of the month. So I just want to first start by saying my declutter process was not big like some other people who may not have decluttered ever. I have decluttered a number of times. One, because I have moved so many times, and in the process of moving, you just have an opportunity as you're packing things up, you have an opportunity to go through things and decide, do I need to take this with me, or can I get rid of it? Can I give it away? And so in that, I've been able to give away or get rid of a lot of things. In addition to that, over the last couple of years, I have done a pretty intensive KonMari, pretty much decluttering. I've used the KonMari method. And if you're not familiar with that, it's KonMari was created by Marie Kondo. Is a Japanese organizer, very popular for her method of letting go of things, basically. And so you'll notice in my decluttering, I didn't have like clothes from my closet, shoes, didn't have like a lot of books and papers and things like that, because when I did the KonMari method last year and the year before, that is what I focused on. I went through every single piece of clothing and pair of shoes that I owned, undergarments included, and really purged a lot of stuff. Part of that came out of some of the weight issues that I have referenced many times in some of these videos, and kind of discovery or acceptance, probably a better word, of just, hey, this weight gain is here. I'm not going to readily lose the weight. There's no need for me to hold on to clothing items. Let me just let go and start over, start fresh. And so that's what I did. I kind of just went through everything, and if it didn't fit, if it was not in good condition, if it was not in style, I just got rid of it and just decided to start over. And it was really freeing to do that because it was very stressful to go to a full overstuffed closet and feel like I had absolutely nothing that I could wear or to put on. And so being able to just clear all of that stuff out, although there were less items in there, it really felt like I at least had things that I could wear. Anything that was in there was something that I could put on and wear. So, so that is why I didn't have any of those things to during my decluttering. I did clothes with the KonMari method, and I also did like books and mail and things like that. So really was good on all of those things. So that was not part of my process. My process was all the other stuff. Things that I had been holding on to, either for sentimental value, just kind of been transporting from one location to the next. And that was what some of my challenges were throughout this process. So let's talk about some of the challenges that I encountered. There were two very big things that kind of came up during this process. The first was going through some of my boys' things. When you're decluttering, you really have to go through everything, right? You have to open up all the boxes. You have to look inside and see what's in there and kind of assess, is this something that you need to keep? Now, there were some things that I chose not to make a decision on because they belonged to my son, and there were some things that I felt like he may have had some sentimental attachment to, and so I just put those aside. But then going through some of the other things, one, you start looking through all of the past, stuff, like you see their baby pictures and yearbooks and all the athletic awards and trophies and medals, and of course that all brings up a lot of emotion because you were there during that entire process. You supported them through that, and decluttering or getting rid of some of those things is kind of like an eye-opener. Like, I really am an empty nester. The boys have grown up now. They are starting or about to really start their lives. My oldest has 1 year left of his baccalaureate education, and my youngest has less than a year left of his associate's education. One is staying in a dorm many states away, and the other decided that since his community college didn't have a dorm, he wanted his own place. And we can talk about that on a whole nother video, the disrespect, but whatever. Moving on with their lives and their own independence. Okay, let me focus, Endora. So going through their things, it really was just kind of a, hey, you are an empty nester. They're moving on. They're growing up. And so, of course, that brings up a lot of emotion. You're excited about it, but then you're also very sad. You remember these things, and they're good memories, so that you want to hold on to. So that was really tough. There were some things that I just said, okay, let it go. You moved past that. They are not going back to that stage or back to those activities. So move on. And so I did. I did a really good job. I'm very proud of myself. Because I was able to move forward. Another area that was difficult was going through my play therapy things. I am now in a different position, and so I'm not doing the specific direct therapeutic services with children like I used to. And so yeah, it was kind of tough to be able to have to say, yeah, you're not doing this anymore. You're not going to do this again. You've moved beyond that. And even in private practice, I generally am working with adults now. So letting go of that stage, that was really tough because I was totally invested in that play therapy and that therapeutic approach. So letting go of that stuff was really, really tough. And I will say that having to post those things online made it much easier to just let go. I knew I was going to have to put it out there. I knew folks were watching, and it made it a lot easier to just let it go. Now, I'm going to be honest, full transparency. There were about 20 items, I'm just estimating, that I took back. Don't judge me. I did. I took some things back, but not many. 20 is not a lot when we're talking about 496. And really, we know I did way more than 496 because some of those counts were categories and not just single items. So I feel like I did good, even with the things that I took back. Now, successes. Let me tell you, I cleared out that garage. I now have 2 cars in the garage. I am super proud of myself for that. That is like a weight lifted off, and came right in time because guess what? Snowstorm came, ice storm came, all the things came, and I was able to pull my cars in the garage. And in addition to that, I will just say that just being able to let go, just being able to move past some of the things that I was just holding on to for really no reason. Some things I was just carrying with me, things I had acquired in other countries or overseas when I lived in Japan, just kind of carrying it with me, and it really had not much of a big value. So really proud of that. Just kind of wanted to recap and share with you all how that month ended and what that process was like for me. I had 4 boxes, just so you, 3 boxes, a trash box, a donate box, and a giveaway box. And I still have little buckets kind of in my garage for things, if I acquire things, to put in kind of in the future. So that was that process. If you decluttered, I would love to hear what that was like for you, some of the things you got rid of, some of the things you held on to, and just what kind of emotions were brought up during that process. And if you didn't, what is your plan to get it started? I'd like to hear it. All right.